yet another episode of the Leading Ladies Podcast with me, Shilpa Khanna Thakkar, powered by Chicnutrix. Today we have a powerhouse in the house, Ridhi Kanoria Doongursee, an incredible co-founder of Lakshmi, India's first financial platform just for women. Ridhi is here on a mission to make women financially fearless, and she's here to share her journey, her secrets, and some fun stories. Welcome, Ridhi, to our podcast, which is the first season of the Leading Ladies Podcast. And here it's all about founder story, how you started Lakshmi, and some fun, quirky stories along the way for us to know what happens along with building the brand, the behind the scenes stories. So welcome, and we are so happy that you are here with us to share that about the brand as well.
Thank you, Shilpa. Super happy to be a part, and thank you for amplifying what we're doing at Lakshmi.
I'm so glad that we are able to do that, because this is something very close to my heart as well, talking about financial independence for women. So when I came across Lakshmi, and I'll tell you, Lakshmi was a platform that I came to know through my team.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, an incredible story by itself, that people or girls in my team are following Lakshmi and finding it helpful in their journey of being financial independent. So definitely this was a must-have podcast and for you to be part of this podcast. What we'll do is we'll start with a fun question before we get into the story of how you built Lakshmi. If Lakshmi were a person, how would you describe her? Would it be a fearless, bold go-getter, or a thoughtful, strategic planner? When I think about Chicnutrix, I close my eyes and think, how would Chicnutrix be? How would I define Chicnutrix? And I always think of Chicnutrix as a vibrant, energetic woman who's out there to meet any kind of challenges and beat that. So in that light, how would you define, or how would you explain Lakshmi as a person?
Good question. I think, and I actually think about that a lot, right? What is the persona? What is the image? What is the branding we want to do? And I think Lakshmi definitely would be a thoughtful, strategic persona or person. And the reason is we're dealing with a couple of things, right? One, we're dealing with money, which is a sensitive matter. It is an important matter.
Yeah.
Second, we're dealing with a lot of socio-economic conditioning, which is it's already got fear around it for women. So definitely thoughtful and strategic, because we want to put all the thought, all the work behind what we're offering at Lakshmi. So the woman that comes to Lakshmi actually gets it really simplified for her.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect, to simplify. Sometimes we feel sitting outside that financial matter is all complicated. But if you get to it, if you break it down, it's actually not that complicated how we may think in our minds. Yeah. So thanks for doing that. If I have to take this further, if you have to explain Lakshmi to a kid, how would you explain that or break it down to a kid, capturing the imagination and making it exciting for the kid? Would it be something like Lakshmi is that magical piggy bank which helps you grow your money and achieve your dreams?
So that's an interesting question. We actually have one of the portfolios on our app called the Good Luck.
Okay.
And that was because we've all grown up having that piggy bank and we relate with it, right?
True.
So it's very important to have that relatability to build comfort. Now, if I was to say how we would explain it to a 5-year-old, and we have kids boot camps. So yeah, what I would say Lakshmi is actually your money superhero. You can come on the platform, learn, it helps you save, it helps you grow your money. So really, once you use Lakshmi, you become like a money superhero.
And that's why the word Lakshmi.
That's
truly so.
Yes, it's amazing. We actually, goddess of wealth is Lakshmi. But women in India, and we did a survey, 85% plus women were not confident of managing the money. So we have on one side the goddess of wealth, who's a woman, but we as women are not managing our own money.
And that's so true, Ridhi. I also sometimes feel that when it comes to money matters, and when we talk about money matters at our home, we tend to see probably our dads or our brother, husband normally taking the lead.
Yeah.
And somewhere the women probably feels that's not her area. And that's not right. I think that's where Lakshmi coming in and changing that mindset is really commendable. We have our India finance minister is a woman.
Yeah, also,
right?
Absolutely.
And why can't we have that at home as well? So I think that's an incredible platform that we are creating here and letting it out there that it's not just a man's business.
Absolutely.
It is different of the gender. Anybody can handle finances. Just be confident about it.
Absolutely. I think so. That's our pitch. So you said exactly what we say. It's amazing, but you've touched on some really important parts, right? Majority of women, whether they're a 25-year-old, 21-year-old starting out, or we've even had CFOs who come tell us we don't manage our own money. Our fathers, brothers, husbands manage our money. And you have both. Either if you're in a positive situation or negative situation, like an abusive situation, both ways actually you should have charge of your finances. And of course, if you're in a negative situation, it's obvious. But even in a positive situation in COVID, we've realized it's important that everyone, every adult in the family knows how they're saving money, what are critical life goals, what are the plans for it, right? So I think it's very important for both genders to be a part of the conversation.
True.
Second, what you said on the conditioning, right? It's not my job. Will I be considered money-minded? Or I might sound stupid if I sound. These are real concerns. We have seen women are worried about these things.
Yeah.
And it's so unfounded because women are the best money managers.
Totally. I think it's just underestimated. You just underestimate yourself. Like today, I am the CFO of the company as well. But I do get that from people, oh, you're the CFO, because I'm a woman, so can I not be the CFO and I can't manage finance? Questions like, oh, you know accounts, I'm the CFO, so I do know accounts, right? I can manage it.
It's amazing. Actually, we had one person actually in a meet with Preeti and me, right? Actually say, but do you think men will allow their women to manage money? We actually didn't know what to respond. It was shocking that thought still exists.
Yeah, and I think that word allow, that word needs to just go out.
Can you imagine?
Every time anybody even says that, I allow you to do this, I'm like, hello, I didn't ask you.
Exactly. So it's amazing, but yes, I think it's very important what we're doing. And the third point you touched on is we're talking about equality and we're talking about freedom and we're talking about progress, but without financial independence as well, it's incomplete.
Totally. When we start any business, we are still not sure, will it work, will it not work? And there is always this aha moment. Yet, yes, this will be a game changer in the financial industry. What was it for you and how did it change your approach?
So as founders, I think there's lots of challenging moments, so you need lots of aha moments.
And time and again.
Yes, time and again. But like you said, there is one that tells you this is great, this can be really powerful. I think for us, one of the first ones was when a woman came up to us and said that she was one of the first people in her family to actually buy her own house, put down the down payment for a house. Exactly. And it's a very important milestone. So I think that for us was a very proud moment. And it was like 6 months within 6 months of joining our platform. So that was really quick impact we saw, which was amazing for us.
Yeah, I saw on your website, I also registered myself to see how it helps, and I saw that you can select your goals. It could be a vacation, it could be an investment in a house or buying a house, or it could be a child's education. So there are these goals that you've set, and I think what I felt seeing that is that it's so important that we set goals for ourselves. Sometimes we don't realize it when we talk about beginning of the year, your New Year resolutions. We talk about health resolutions and I'm going to hit the gym and I'm going to detox and I'm going to do this. But do we actually write our financial goals for the year? I think one needs to do that. That's what I felt seeing Lakshmi app, that it's all about breaking down your goals.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, we made it one step even simpler. So when you go onto the app, there's a 2-minute quiz. You take that 2-minute quiz, it'll give you the steps as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what do I list, where do I start, just take that 2-minute quiz. It'll tell you step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You can start with as much as just 1,000 rupees to start working towards your goals. And we've broken it up into 2 parts. One is a safety net. every single woman should have a financial safety net that consists of an emergency fund and a retirement fund. If you have children, you should add a child education fund. So we make it very simple. This is your safety net. And then we have a vision board. So now what are your financial goals and dreams? So step 1, step 2, you work towards that, and then we actually support you up to your path of actually achieving them.
So do you also monitor with them on time to time basis that they can call you where you are in your financial goal? How do you manage that?
Yes, so we have both things, right? One is we've productized it. So the app will give you nudges.
Okay.
The app will remind you, hey, you wanted to plan for your next vacation. Why don't you start investing and saving now? Second, this is a high-touch industry. There is a certain amount of trust that needs to be built. So we have an amazing Money Buddy team on call. So you can actually call up a Money Buddy and they will be like your friend. They will listen to you. They will understand your unique needs. What are you thinking, and support you through whatever journey you want to start on.
That's so nice. Something like that we do towards health also, and we call it health investment. So Chicnutrix is all about health investment. Financial investment means health investment. And we also talk to our users and customers. And of course, we don't have an app, but we have people in customer service and nutritionists, and they connect with customers and users and just remind them that they should not forget their health investment, which is for themselves, for their hair, skin, beauty, overall health, whatever it is. So I think both aspects, financial health and financial investment, health investment is an absolute important. Another question I had for you is if you have to think of a theme song for Lakshmi, what do you think would that theme song be?
Okay, so the theme song, and we love music, by the way, in the entire team. I think for us, what we keep saying is we try to really make this conversation lighter, right? Money becomes very serious.
Yes.
So one of the things we always say on a lot of our material is girls just want to have funs. So I think we'd go with the girls just want to have fun, but make it fun instead of fun.
You said somewhere that at times financial planning becomes boring.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Lakshmi plays an important role. So how do you make it interesting or less boring or less intimidating for a woman to be engaged in their financial goals? How do you manage that?
I think generally there is a lot of apprehension when we're talking about money, especially with women and their socioeconomic conditioning. They're like, oh gosh, money, what if I lose it? There's a lot of fear associated with it. So the two things we focus on for everything we do is how to simplify it and how to gamify it. Right? Simplify is because actually money is not complicated.
Yes.
It's just there's too much information. We don't know what is the right information and what is the wrong. We have maybe too many influencers giving us contradictory information. So what we do is, one, simplifies it. This is what you need to know for personal finance. And second, what we do is gamify it. Right? So we want our app to be as easy as someone using WhatsApp or playing Candy Crush. And what we do is put in lots of fun elements. So for example, we have a spin the wheel on the app. We have, when Wordle was doing really well, we had like a literacy through Wordle. We have a housey but with financial terms. So what we do is we gamify everything you're doing on the app so it doesn't seem intimidating, which it's really not. It's actually fun. And you get a sense of achievement as well. So for example, when you go on the community and actually help another woman or answer a question or just support her saying, go, you can do it, you earn digital gold coins.
Yes.
So I think we've tried to really simplify and gamify the experience on the app to take away that apprehension or the boredom.
I think it all comes down to how piggy bank, Gullak, which you said. The concept is so simple and yet so interesting and engaging. I also read somewhere, or I rather had heard a video of yours, Ridhi, that you spoke about Lakshmi eventually being able to get into neo-banking. Now, what is your plan on neo-banking? And before you answer that, just for our audience, what is neo-banking? Neo-banking is a direct bank which uses only online platform. There are no physical branches like your traditional bank. So it works only on online basis and without any physical branches. So that's what's a neo-bank. So Ridhi, have you progressed towards that? Is that still on the cards? What's the plan?
So basically, neo-banking now is actually a misused word. right? Because people are using it for anything they do. I think what Lakshmi wants to be is a one-stop shop for women and money. Everything you want to do with money, either save, invest, grow the money, obviously insure yourself, even budget, pay, etc. We want to be an app where a woman can come and manage her money the way she wants to.
Okay, so for you, neo-banking this is how you would treat the platform to be as. There is another rule we talk about in the financial planning for personal usage is 50-30-20 rule. Now, what is a 50-30-20 rule? 50% of your income goes in your needs, your daily requirements. 30% goes in wants, good to have kind of thing. And 20% goes in savings. So that's a golden rule normally we follow. There are many other rules. I've also read 80-20, 40-40-20. So there are many rules, but commonly used rule is 50-30-20. So Ridhi, what do you have to say about this rule? Is this an important rule for us to follow? Do you also follow that on Lakshmi?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we recommend. The 50-30-20 rule is a great rule to follow where 20% goes into savings. Now, India is actually a very good savings economy. Most people save.
Yeah.
But then where we miss out on is growing that money. Right? We save that money and leave it either in our cupboard or in the bank account or put it in an FD or
thinking it
fund.
will just grow.
Right? But then it's not growing. So you worked really hard to earn that money and then you're losing it to inflation. So you have to invest it in inflation-beating assets. So 20%, yes, save that money, but then grow it. And like you said previously, there's some great options now to grow your money, right? And women have given the exact same feedback that you've given. Once they've started and they see their money growing, it's such a beautiful feeling. And what we've done is we've curated assets, right? Portfolios, where you can go and start with a few ₹100. It asset allocates it, diversifies it across, depending on your needs and comfort.
So it shows automatically?
It will show automatically. You can put in a goal. Do you have a short-term goal or a long-term goal? We have simple calculators. The amount you want eventually at the, like, I want to save ₹1,00,000 for a holiday at the end of the year. Put that in. It'll tell you how much you need to start saving today, which portfolio connects with you the best, and you can start that amount either as a SIP or a lump sum. So really, I think saving is a very critical part. It's the first pillar of finance. The second is make sure you grow your money. And again, I think we hear a lot of tips, etc. Don't go with that. Go with SIPs. It's a lot safer.
I like that. We have SIPs here as well.
Yes, exactly. I think we both recommend the same thing.
Ridhi, I really want to know if you were given an option or a choice to invite 3 women from history, any 3 women. Whom would you call and why? What do you think they would bring on the table?
So I think for most recent, she's not historical, she's obviously current, but Radhika Gupta of Edelweiss. I think I love listening to her. I love reading and she's very real.
She's very real.
And she's also very inspiring. So I think one would be her because we can really relate to exactly the journey she's been on.
And she's very direct.
She's very direct.
Yeah, she just is to the point and this is it.
Yes, and we actually had a call thanks to Preeti, my partner, who actually knows her well. We actually had like a mentoring program for other women and she spoke there and it was amazing. She's so down to earth and obviously knowledgeable. So her I did have a conversation with, and the other 2, I think one would be actually Indira Gandhi because there were so many financial policies, whether we've all heard of, the foreign currency limitations when the emergency happened. It's impacted our economy a lot and it's very important to understand a different perspective, right? There's obviously reasons that was done. I would love to have that conversation to understand what was the thought process behind that. All right, so that would be second.
Interesting.
I know it's counterintuitive, but I think also because sometimes it's important to understand when something is thought of negatively, to understand that perspective.
Yeah.
We talk about consumption today, we talk about the environment today, right? And we say there's so much happening, overconsumption happening. Was there that thought process, or what was the thought process behind restricting, right? Especially in a democracy. So that's one. And I think the third would be Amelia Earhart. So I think she is inspiring in every way, right? To actually be a pilot, to actually get the funds to live your dreams. And she also actually at that time pushed for financial independence and women having their own careers. So I would love to understand how you can be so path-breaking, right? How do you think so differently to the norm? So
I think all 3 people from different eras and different backgrounds. I think that's going to be a conversation and a chat that I think everybody would like to watch as well.
And learn so much from, right?
True. Also, at times when we talk about financial worlds, there are many myths that keeps going on, and I'm sure it is our responsibility as a brand to sometimes bust those myths. Like even when we talk about health and beauty, there are so many myths going on that, do not take supplements, it's medicine. And then we have to break that myth that supplement is not medicine. Like that, I'm sure there are many myths going on in the financial world. Like I've read some that it's managing financials is so complicated, it's a man's job. Or I will save more when I have more money. I mean, these are all myths, I'm sure. How do you bust them, or how do you address these myths? I think that's a very important part of a platform like Lakshmi, because this is what the education is all about. Whatever notions you may have, you need to break it down.
So I'll use another analogy to answer that. Actually, on our platform, getting recommendations for yourself or to just take your first 4 steps is as simple as making 2 minutes Maggi noodles. So literally 5 questions and you get your step 1 to 4. So finance is not complicated at all. The second myth is that women are risk averse.
Yes.
Right? I think what we say is women are risk aware. They want to take an informed decision, and that's exactly where we support you. We make sure the right information is out there, simplified for you to take the best decision for your journey. So I think that's the second myth we love busting. Women are not risk averse, they are risk aware.
I think that's a line I would like to highlight here. All of you watching, we are not risk averse, we are risk aware. So there is a difference, and please accept that difference and move on. I think it's a great difference to have.
Absolutely, and there's validation. We have thousands of women on our platform who have joined, taken the quiz, invested, and are so happy to see their money grow.
True, I love that, and let's keep busting these myths, and let's keep ensuring that such I call them stupid lines do not affect us, and hey, we can all do it. Let's think like that. Ridhi, there's another myth. When we spoke about myths, that financial planning sometimes one size fits all. That's a myth. But do you think when we talk about financial planning, there is a difference between how a woman should approach financial planning than a man? Is there any difference, or we should be aware of?
So there is a difference, and it's a good difference. Actually, there's 2 different aspects I'm going to touch on here. So first is women are actually fabulous savers. Whatever budget you give to a woman to run a house, right, or in a job, she will put money aside. And it'll be hidden in the cupboard, or she'll buy a piece of gold, or she'll put it in the post office or an FD. Every woman is fabulous at saving.
Amazing
right?
at it.
It's amazing at saving, right? And we really don't give ourselves that credit. They will make sure everyone in the house is happy, all needs are met, whatever budget you give
and
them.
I've seen there are many success stories of men, because they could use the money which the women has saved in the house, and they could then extend it to the business or anywhere else, but it was the money that was saved by the women of the house.
Exactly, and that was my second point, because we're very disciplined. If we decide and know this is the right thing to do, we really are disciplined and make sure it's done. So you're right, there are so many success stories, and that's exactly where we say, come take charge of your financial goals. And women generally are nurturers. So in our survey, women, the biggest thing was, I want to make sure my family is secure and my kids get good education, right? And they can actually take charge of family financial goals and make sure it's achieved. Now, there's one other aspect where it is very important for women to take charge of their money, and that's because women do have career gaps, either when you're having a child or you've got married. The second is we do get paid lesser in our jobs, which is unfortunately a known statistic.
Unfortunately, that's still a fact.
It is still a fact. While there's a lot of work being done in it, we are paid lesser. And the third is women live longer than men, right? So you need to have a financial plan that you're aware of, so you can live a good quality life later on, which is when you need it the most.
True. So I think keeping these things in mind, you are aware that you need to plan. Only the difference is that the gaps may be more, the career gaps, or because you had a baby or a child. So family planning, I think that aspect comes for a women. Other than that, it's more or less similar aspect.
Yes, it is. I mean, I think and what we say is the safety net, like I said, is you must have an emergency fund.
Which is true for anybody.
For everyone. You must have a retirement plan. And since kids is always at the forefront.
I think one thing that I would add here, like you said, is a gap fund.
Yes,
so emergency
fund.
retirement
yes,
or a
exactly.
sabbatical fund. That's what, and I think invariably, how much ever we try, there is that gap we tend to have, most of the women.
Yeah.
We try to avoid it, but sometimes I think your responsibilities calls for it, and that's what we need to plan for.
Absolutely. So that, and one more thing, if you have children, a lot of people you see when the child is going to college, they start then, they take a loan.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, obviously you're closer to retirement at that time and then you're taking a loan. What we suggest is if you have children, start planning their education from now, and we actually have a child education planner and a portfolio. So what do they want to do? What do you think? It'll give you approximately how much you should start saving in a SIP today, so that you don't have to take a loan tomorrow.
So the key here is start early.
Start early. Start early, start small, but start somewhere.
Somewhere, yes. Start early, start consistent, and it can be a small amount, but start early.
Yeah.
As founders, we always have tough situations. We always look for those aha moments to sail through those tough situations. And sometimes there is always that motivation quote which goes on behind in our mind to keep us going. Something for me is success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So I just keep thinking about this and keep going on. What is it that works for you?
So you're absolutely right. And I think we probably get this every day, right, as founders. I think for me, what really works is after every sunset, there is always a sunrise. So there's always going to be a good day at some point or good news at some point. Just don't give up.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is always light at the end. Absolutely, exactly.
Ridhi, I'm sure you get a lot of feedback from your users. What is the most surprising feedback that you must have got from any user that made you think from a different perspective? You know, sometimes feedback opens up different avenues. Like even for us, we were into nutrition business, as you know. We are into nutrition business, and we have nutritional products for skin and hair. But we used to get this constant feedback from our users that, okay, I'm using Glow, for example, for my skin pigmentation. But is there anything that I need to apply also for a holistic approach? So this is for my inside, but anything from my outside. And that's when it made us think that, hey, I think we need to provide a holistic solution to our customers and users. So yes, we have something which goes inside, and that's the foundation. But let's work on the outside area also and give a holistic approach. And we started with Korean skincare range. So these are the feedbacks that, you know, sometimes you take and you get new ideas, new thoughts. So is there something like that made you think differently on Lakshmi?
There's lots of user feedback actually we get, and we focus on that because we're building for this audience, which is a new audience. So there's a couple I might touch on. One is first, one of the most powerful pieces of feedback we got was, you know, we love Lakshmi. It's changed us as individuals. And till Lakshmi is there, we will be a part of Lakshmi.
How sweet.
So that was a very emotional moment for us. We loved that. The second surprising piece...
it's like a BFF for them.
That's exactly what we say. It's like a money buddy, your BFF.
Yeah, money buddy. Right? So we call Chic as your BFF, health BFF.
Health BFF.
I see so many similarities.
So many
we spoke about financial health and health investment.
Yes.
There we go.
Absolutely. You know, the second thing on this, when I was going through actually what you're doing, you said you make sure you comply with all the food norms.
Yes.
And I think we make sure we comply with all the regulatory norms. Like we will never sell a product that is not regulated. True. Right? So it's tempting sometimes. I'm sure you've seen it, where there are other folks who are selling something that's a shortcut, not really safe. So I think that's another synergy we have. We make sure we really do research and we're compliant and follow all regulations.
No, Lakshmi, it's so good to see that Lakshmi as a platform is doing those checks for you.
Exactly.
Is ensuring that there is no investment avenue which is not compliant. So you can definitely skip that part of researching and follow what options are there and go for it as an easy, like you said, simplifying it.
Exactly. So on that note, what you said, to actually research all stocks or mutual fund, it takes you 1400 hours every 6 months. We don't have that time, right? As individuals working with a family, with all of our daily needs, right? So we simplify all of that, and we have experts curating these portfolios. So the second interesting feedback we got is after they started. So we started as an Ask, Learn, Invest platform, right? Women first ask in the community. It's a safe space, no judgment.
Right.
Ask any questions. Nobody will judge you. In fact, you'll
no
get the
question
right...
is a stupid question.
Exactly. And you'll get the right response from experts and from the community, right? Then learn, of course, like you said, read the labels, get to know. We'll simplify the learning for you so you understand what you're doing and customize it to your needs, and invest. And then what women came back and said is, we're feeling safe here. We've changed our behavior. We want to do everything to do with money on this app. And that's where this concept of a one-stop shop for personal finance, money and women, is where we decided to get into this, offering all products in one place.
Great. So Ridhi, we have this round, a fun round with lots of questions, but you have to answer quickly.
Sure.
And we can sip our gluttonies. We spoke about sips on the financial side. Now we'll do some sips on the health side.
Yeah.
So let's go for it.
Shall we?
Okay. I really need this for my glow.
And cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to everybody's financial and health goals. Okay. Here we go. Describe Lakshmi in 3 words. What would they be and why?
Safe, supportive, and simple. And I think safe because that's very important. We're dealing with money, right? Each one of us work very, very hard to earn every rupee. And then you're saving it, right? Putting it aside. So I think we really want to be a safe space. Supportive because it's important. We're changing conditioning of many years. So we really are a safe space where you can come speak, no judgment. And simple because money is not complicated. We're just going to make it as easy as a 2-minute Maggi noodle for you to achieve your financial dreams and goals.
The 3S.
The 3S.
What's your go-to book about finance? The one you always recommend to others?
I might be biased, but Lakshmi's blogs and learning modules. The rest are too big and complicated.
I did go through some of them yesterday, and I would say that they are definitely very simple to understand. So anybody looking for quick tips, do watch out their blogs. What's one app you cannot live without? Of course, besides Lakshmi. I'm sure that's on there in your phone, but apart from that.
It's actually WhatsApp. I have like a to-do list on my WhatsApp. I have so many things on my WhatsApp.
I think that's something we cannot, none of us can live without.
Yeah, it's WhatsApp, and that's why we say we want to make our app as easy as to use as WhatsApp.
Great. Name a woman who inspires you the most and why?
So, I think actually that woman would probably be the women I know in my ecosystem. I mean, it's of course my partner Preeti. It's my sisters, and my sister and my sister-in-laws. Every day I see them. It's the story I just hear from you on how you were able to save half of your pocket money as a small child. It's just, women are just phenomenal human beings. And I feel we talk about God, they're the giver, right? I see women here who are constantly giving so much, more than they're taking. So my inspiration is the women around me.
The nurturers.
The nurturers around me who are just such beautiful people.
Okay, this, I really want to know. What's the best vacation you've ever taken? And what made it so special? I mean, I love to travel, so I would like to know this.
I love to travel as well, and I think vacations are all just special. I think we have multiple favorites, but I think for some reason there was this one tiny town we went in Austria called St. Gilgen. It's literally maybe a few hundred people. It's this beautiful lakeside town, very green, very quiet, and it was like a vacation we had with the family.
Away from the hustle.
Away from the hustle, so quiet. And
away from WhatsApp?
Away from WhatsApp, away from everything. Yes, it was so peaceful, we did not feel the need to even look at our phones.
Yeah, I think such offbeat locations really make good memories.
Exactly.
What's one thing you wish you knew earlier in your career, something that would have made a big difference?
So generally, I think, again, like we say, the impact and influences our families have on us. I think I've generally been grown up to say, just do your best and move on, right? So I think that way, I've constantly, we build, we move on, we don't get stuck in failure or issues or challenges. But I think if one thing I would say would be, I know this is rapid fire, but this too shall pass. So on the tough days, this too shall pass.
Yes, we shall. There is light at the end.
There is light at the end of the tunnel.
What's your go-to beauty product you can't live without?
Lip balm.
Okay, that's simple.
Yeah.
Simple in your skincare as well.
Yes.
Morning skincare routine or evening skincare routine? Which one is your favorite?
Definitely morning.
Yeah? I'm more of an evening. So, but time ही नहीं होता कई बार मेरे पास.
Really?
I'm just rushing off. But
Yeah, for me it's a few minutes, but at night I'm too tired.
Too tired, exhausted to do
Yeah.
anything. Like
Maybe
I
if I
just
have
get my
this-
beauty sleep.
Exactly. Maybe if I just have this drink now, I'll sip the drink.
Yes. It's very easy, like your 2-minute noodles.
Yeah.
You pop, fizz and drink. If you could have a superpower related to health and wellness, what would it be?
How to just make sure I work out every day. Just like a wake up in the morning and be motivated, not lazy, to get up and go for a half an hour walk. Be consistent.
It's a tough one actually.
It's something I'm constantly trying to convince myself to do, but
I think we all do that. I literally tell myself at times, like, I feel I'm just picking myself up.
Yeah.
And carrying myself to the gym. That's how I literally feel in my head that that's what I'm doing when I go to the gym.
Exactly, but it makes such a difference. The day I work out, you feel brilliant, right?
Yes.
And on the toughest of days is when you need it the most, but it's when it's the hardest to do.
No, one has to do that, and that's how I always carry myself to the gym. But when I come out, I'm so lightheaded, I'm so happy. And I think it was worth it doing that whole thing in my mind. Chalo Shilpa, utho, niklo, jao.
Your endorphins have kicked in then.
So we have to ask this question. What's your favorite beverage for that perfect glow?
Water.
Yeah, now you can add this
now
to
I'm
your
going to
glow.
add this.
The Glutini. What's one beauty hack you swear by?
Moisturize. I think I'm not the best at it, but I think moisturizing is just
And you
needed.
do that consistently?
That's the one thing I do.
That's good. What's the weirdest beauty or wellness trend you've ever heard?
So many, right? You hear so many of these diets, and I am guilty of having tried a few. But there's so many here. You only eat one thing for X number of days, or you don't eat for 18 hours.
Fasting. And
I mean, or you eat only for 4 hours a day. I'm someone who needs food every 2 hours.
Have you done any of this?
So I've done a low carb diet, and that actually worked for me. I've done a balanced, which worked for me. The GM diet. I actually tried that, but that felt pretty good. It was difficult, but it felt pretty good.
How long were you able to
5 days. That's it. No, but it's a 5-day thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but I completely agree. I think these fads are just just a balanced, healthy diet and working out. I think
that's
long term. It's the best.
In everything, do something which is simple, and you're able to be consistent. I think that's what this whole conversation was about.
Absolutely.
Making it simple, consistent, baby steps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ridhi. It was a fun session we had. I truly enjoyed this, and like I was saying, this subject is very close to my heart. I enjoy talking about financial independence, and I think it's an absolute important point which we don't talk about very often, and we are so glad that we could talk about this topic with you personally and share some insights with our users. So thank you so much, and I hope our audience found it helpful and will use some of these tips that we discussed. So thank you once again, and we shall see you in the next episode with yet another founder story. Bye-bye.